They say 7 days is a long time, and if you're Harry and Meghan, this week has probably felt like an eternity. From mass walkouts at Archewell Productions, a potential deal with Netflix in jeopardy, controversy on the red carpet, and allegations of human rights abuses against the charity Harry is a board member of, it's been a pretty tough time for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. There's a lot to get through, so we better get started. First up, and Harry and Meghan courted controversy in Jamaica while attending the premiere of the Bob Marley biopic One Love. Although snapped with a number of famous faces, the pic which made all the front pages was this snap with Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness, a man who has made no secret in his desire to sever ties with the royals. It could easily have been an innocent photograph, but with King Charles and Catherine Middleton recovering from respective surgeries, many called it misjudged, if not insensitive.
They went to Kingston, Jamaica from California to attend, I believe, the opening night of the Bob Marley biopic, My Love or whatever, where they were filmed with the, I think, Jamaican Prime Minister. Jamaica, like Barbados, a place I spend a lot of time in, beginning and hoping, in their words, to get independence. Many people have jumped upon it and said, your father's ill with prostate problems, your sister-in-law's in hospital, you've trashed the monarchy, and now you're having photos taken with a leader who wants to leave, who doesn't want your father as king anymore. That's what the argument is, right?
Well, yes, it's worse than that. Of course, they are independent. You mean they want to become a republic?
Yeah.
But worse than that is that when William and Kate visited Jamaica the year before last, they were humiliated by the Prime Minister on TV in a deliberate snub. And that was an appalling thing to do to the British monarchy and to the Cambridges. And Harry, in my view, has gone there with Meghan just to stoke up more trouble, more controversy, make sure that he's again in the headlines and in the pictures. And it's just appalling how the Sussexes capitalise constantly on their royal status to undermine the monarchy from which they're earning their living.
When I first read it, I thought, oh, God, they're just out for a night at a film thing. But then I thought, do you know what, actually? I mean, there's no way you wouldn't realise there's a bit of a diary clash on this one. You're going to that one place where the leader has been very, very overt and very explicit about his Republican desires. At the same time, your old man, the king, the head of state of that country, is in hospital. I think it's a bit tactless. I don't think they should be in jail for it. I just don't think it's a great
look,
look.
It's very clumsy and very,
isn't it?
Very crass. I mean, how many well-paid PR advisors do that couple have? Surely, at the very minimum, if I was their researcher, I would have given them a little briefing note about Jamaica. And the first time I Googled Kings, Queens, Jamaica, I would have found a little bit of YouTube footage which would have shown that extremely awkward moment where that guy basically humiliated our king-to-be, Prince William, as he was at that time. And I would have said, guys, maybe this is perhaps not the best idea.
No, I've got nothing against Holness, the Prime Minister, and his stance. He wants his country to be independent. He doesn't want it to be kowtowing to the British royal family and so on. Absolutely, why not? That's his decision. That's the way he thinks his country should move forward democratically. So I'm not criticising him, but what on earth is Prince Harry doing, rubbing shoulders with this guy whose avowed intent is to get away from the royal family and to sever all links with a country he clearly does not like? That's the United Kingdom. This is very, very strange what they're doing.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle caught another curveball as their Archewell Productions manager, Bennett Levine, decided to call it quits. The company, linked with Netflix, kicked off in 2020, with the Sussexes aiming to create content that's all about informing, elevating and inspiring. But this month, the man who worked on their docuseries Harry and Meghan has said he's throwing in the towel less than 2 years into the job. And he's not the only one, with reports of other staff departures, sparking rumours that perhaps the Duke and Duchess might be on the verge of losing their Netflix deal.
In Hollywood, you're only as good as your last film or your last project. And for Harry and Meghan, unfortunately, they haven't had a real out-and-out hit since their massive documentary for Netflix. Everything else they've done has kind of been meh.
And why was it a hit?
Because they were slamming the royal family.
Exactly.
And this Bennett Levine is not a big name in Hollywood. This is not a successful director, not successful anything, really. Bennett Levine made their name from working with Harry and Meghan. That's it for Bennett Levine. Nevertheless, the position that they've left is a big deal, and this paints Harry and Meghan in another poor light. Why can't you hold on to your staff?
Well, it's not looking good, is it? It really has been a bit of a tsunami of people leaving. He was the manager, production manager, the head honcho in many ways. Last year, they lost their head of content, also the marketing director. And as you say, this is part of a long list of people who have left the employment of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex over the last few years. You'll remember probably that when they were carrying out their royal work over here, there were allegations, unproven, that she had bullied some of the staff. But there were a lot of stories coming out of the palaces that staff were unhappy with the way she treated them. I don't know whether they're true or not. I mean, she and Harry have sought to deny it. But I've met one or two people who have had direct experience of working with her in various capacities. And I must say, I have heard time and again that she's not easy to work with, and that may lie at the root of this. In any case, it's pretty bad news for Archewell Productions and for the foundation.
It does actually look at the moment that we're in a bit of a downward spiral. Losing the Spotify deal was a big blow for Harry and Meghan. If they don't renew this Netflix contract, which, again, doesn't look like it's going to happen, it is pretty bad because, you know, up until this point, they've really been effectively selling themselves, haven't they? The Harry and Meghan deal, which is probably what Netflix was handing a lot of their hopes on, that big series. That's done and dusted. You can't do another one of those where, you know, trashing the royal family became, you know, part of that. That's gone now. You can't possibly get involved in doing that anymore. So you've got to look at what else they're going to offer. Now, as creative people, they have got ideas, but those ideas don't seem to be gaining any traction. The animation that Meghan was going to get involved with, that got canned by Netflix. So, you know, it's beginning to look like, where's the next multi-million dollar deal coming from?
Finally, Prince Harry found himself making headlines in recent days. And they're not the kind he'll want. They're thanks to his role as a board member of African Parks, a non-profit conservation organisation which aims to protect Africa's national parks and wildlife conservation. Rangers employed by the company are facing serious allegations of human rights abuses, including the rape and torture of indigenous people in the Republic of Congo. Campaigners are now urging Harry to step down from his position with African Parks and distance himself from the charity.
These are very serious allegations, rape and torture. You know, this is not sort of money laundering or embezzling. This is really quite serious stuff. And I think it's surprising that he's known about this for nearly a year and hasn't, yes, he's having it investigated, but he hasn't sort of severed links while it's proven or disproven. I would have thought that he would step away from it while this is being investigated. And of course, you know, the royals are patrons. They're patrons of lots of charities, lots of organisations. It's part of the job. They can't be across every single detail. But I think in this case, the allegations are so serious that he needs to take this a little bit more seriously.
I don't think he should be stepping down at all. As you say, there are allegations and they're serious, but even more reason, we don't live in a society, well, at least I hope not, where someone makes a claim and suddenly that's it then. Someone's claimed it, it's going on. Harry, in his position, he's so influential, he should stay in that role and use his power and influence to find out exactly what is going on and then try and effect change. People who are doing these bad things should be taken out of that company.
I get that.
Passed on.
Don't step down, step up in many respects.
Exactly.
You know, use your position and say, right, okay, something terrible has been alleged here, and as JJ says, you don't just suddenly on an allegation. So right, that would mean everybody would have to go. Everybody who works there.
So what's he done since last May?
Down.
So
he raised it. Well, raised it with the CEO.
Yeah, so he raised...
That's what he should be doing.
So he was originally president.
Yeah.
He is now a director. He raised it with the CEO, which I think is the right thing to do. There is an investigation going on. Now, this is about governance. When you're a director of any company, you are responsible for governance. And I think he's doing the right thing by staying there until those claims are proven or disproven. And if they are proven, then he effects change to ensure nothing like that ever happens again. Because he's actually not culpable, is he? It's not what he's done. And actually, I think that's a much bigger signal to say, I've taken control, we've actually effected change, matter over.
Prince Harry is, in this moment, in the board of directors, which is very important. It's the governing body of African Parks. So what we are expecting from him is to step down of this organization. Why? Because we truly believe that conservation organizations, and we have seen it in our own experience, conservation organizations only change when they are pushed by public opinion. So we think that Harry stepping down can give a clear signal to the conservation industry saying human rights abuses in the name of conservation are not tolerated. We hope that Prince Harry and the funders of conservation actually take some action. A real change can actually happen from a political level, from a structure. So if funders stop giving money to projects when human rights violations are happening, this can create a huge change.
I'm quite sure that Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, has gone into this with a good heart and with very good intentions. Africa is very close to his heart. He says, and has been on the record several times as saying he feels happiest when he's in Africa. And it's significant that even before they married, he was taking Meghan Markle to Africa on various safaris and jaunts because he feels so at home there. So I'm quite sure he will be appalled by these revelations and will be considering his position very closely.